The number of unpaid carers in Scotland is on the rise. With an ageing population and a health and social care system under strain, that trend is set to continue. And that means more children taking on caring duties too.
When I was in primary 4, while everyone else was thinking about going and playing with their friends outside, I was having to think like, oh, is mum falling while I'm at school?
We've spent time with one family whose lives changed after a major diagnosis.
I think the roles have been reversed with us sometimes, do you know, that way, because she's needing to be the making sure I'm all right, checking in with me.
So what more can be done to support young carers who offer so much?
It doesn't stop them fulfilling the life that they can live alongside those caring responsibilities. The problem at the moment really is that there is gaps in support.
My mum got diagnosed when I was in P4, and ever since then I've continued to be a carer for her. Hiya.
Hiya. How you doing?
I'm okay. Would you like a cup of tea?
Erin Kirkland has spent most of her life helping to look after her mum, Sinead. She went into hospital in 2015 expecting to receive a hip transplant. Instead, she was told she had multiple sclerosis.
I had never had to consider what it might be like to live with something for the rest of your life, something that couldn't be cured. That's one of the hardest parts about it, because you can do lots of things to try and manage it, but you can never make it go away. So yeah, knocked me for 6.
Now Sinead's lost the use of one hand and relies on a stick to walk short distances.
As the years have gone by, you start to realise how much you're progressing, because it's very tiny, but then all of a sudden it's like, wow. It's just about constantly adjusting, and it's a tough gig. But it's a gig, you just have to get on with it. And one that Fraz and Erin have had to be a huge part of it, and has completely changed their lives as well.
Erin and her dad Fraser have picked up the job Sinead is no longer able to do.
She does a lot of my tablets and making sure, and because I can't pop them out of the blister packets, so she's that, so she's got that responsibility in her head at night that's her job and she needs to do that. She'll do a lot of cleaning around the house, a lot more than your kind of average teenager needs to do.
As everyone gets older, they have to do more stuff, but obviously for me, I've had to do it since I was younger. Things like doing the dishes, I'll cook dinner. Dad also cooks dinner, but I will cook dinner to give him a rest as well as doing the washing and stuff like that.
But Erin says being a young carer isn't just about taking on physical chores.
Only recently I've started to realise actually the kind of effects and of that kind of thought process of that other people don't have to think about that when they've left the house. Teachers don't get told enough about the actual struggles with it. It's oh, okay, well you go home and you do the dishwasher. And I'm yeah, but when I'm sat in your class, I might be worried about my mum.
The family rely heavily on each other for emotional support.
It's such an amazing thing. I know I can always go and talk to mum, and mum knows she can come and talk to me, and both of us can go and talk to dad. And having that amazing bond, I think it's everything that we've all went through has actually brought us closer together, because we're all able to help each other.
There is some statutory support on offer for unpaid carers in Scotland. Some may be entitled to grants, and there are non-cash benefits on offer for young carers, like retail discounts and days out.
We have very good empowering legislation. The challenge sometimes is at implementation stage. So actually, how do we make those policies a reality in the lives of unpaid carers? It's about understanding the important role, the essential role actually, that unpaid carers play in our health and social care system. So they provide nearly £16 billion worth of care every year in Scotland alone. That's the equivalent of another NHS.
In 2022 to 23, local authorities got £88 million in funding from the Carers Act, but only around £64 million went towards carer support.
At the moment, Carers Act money is not ring-fenced, so it can be challenging to see where that kind of money is being spent. And I think we just need to see more investment in carers. Where we could go further, there'll be rights to break from caring legislation, and actually it's really important that adult carers and young carers are able to access a break from their caring role.
Back to me. Why do you have so many blues?
One way that Erin gets a break is through peer support groups run by the Carers Trust.
Although people think, maybe school's a break from their caring role, there's so much going on in school, exams, peer relationships, social pressures. Being able to come once a week to a group that's, completely out of their normal environment, and being able to just get an absolute solid break from their caring role where they're not involved with anyone that they usually have to provide support to, and they can just literally turn their brain off for a couple of hours.
Having grown up as a young carer, Abby understands how important it is for them to feel understood.
Young carers particularly miss out on a lot of experiences, and even if that's not experiences with their peers, it's stuff that people will come into school and talk about. You maybe can't attend after school groups, things like brownies and girl guides and scouts and things like that, because they have a role at home.
Erin says being able to connect with young people who have similar experiences to her is very reassuring.
It meant that I knew there was other people that had the same thoughts as me when they left the house and had those kind of anxieties.
The Carers Trust says helping young carers to forge their own path becomes even more important as they grow older.
We want to encourage young carers to have aspirations, to have dreams, to have fun, to be able to be children alongside their caring roles. And they can be, when they've got that good support, when the families have good support, so when there's good replacement care in place, actually young carers can live great, fulfilling lives alongside their caring roles. We want to make sure that that's a reality for all unpaid young carers in Scotland, and we're very far away from that at the moment.
I can feel the warning signs running around my mind.
Erin's passion for theatre and performing has become more important to her as she's grown up. And now, as she looks to the future, she's trying to fit that around her life as a carer.
Everyone else around me is like, London, and I'm like, no. At first it was quite difficult for me because I was like, well, that's what everyone else is doing and that's where they say all the amazing people go. But when actually getting to talk to mum and dad about it, I've had that realisation of there's actually a lot of amazing places here and I don't need to go away from mum to actually be able to do the thing I love.
My body feels young, but my mind is very old.
You see her on stage when she's doing her shows and stuff like that. It's just magic. She's just a good wee person, which as a mum is amazing to look at someone and go, I had something to do with that. We must have done something right. But yeah, she's a good soldier. I would be lost without her. Absolutely lost without her. She's brilliant.
Erin doesn't know what the next few years will look like for her yet. But one thing is for sure, the relationship she shares with her mum isn't going to change.